I was diagnosed in October 2010. Um, I have had a double mastectomy and breast cancer. As a matter of fact, the day that I was in the office waiting for my results, I was sitting in the doctor's office working a crossword puzzle on a pink Greenville News newspaper. If you remember, in 2010, they were celebrating breast cancer in October, and that's why I was using a pink newspaper. The first person I called, of course, was my daughter. And I shouldn't have told her by phone because it upset her a lot. But I think it was not only that day, but it was like a week waiting to know if it was cancer or not, if it was malignant. And I think that I I called her, and I think she called the rest of the family. Well, since I found it myself with self-examinations. They did an MIR and realized that it was not only in my left breast, but it was in my right breast as well. And they would do a double mastectomy. And I just waited to have that done, but they did a lot of tests before then, before they actually went in and did it. I'm almost back where I was before, but of course you'll never be back where you were. The journey has been long. The operation was all right. I got through that, but my reconstruction was very hard. My skin, I suppose I had very thin skin because the weight of implants would not hold, and because of that, I had to have 4 operations after the first operation, and eventually they did graft skin off of my back to put to hold up the implants. And it's been tough, but you know, the whole thing was the whole year of having those operations before I could get out of the tubes that hang from your body. I was in another operation, and I wore those drainage tubes for 5 months. Fortunately, it was in cold weather, and I could wear a coat and at least go to the grocery store, but no social life at all in that year. I think my grandchildren, my daughter, my family, they were my inspiration. And they were so afraid I was going to die, of course. But I think my family, and of course, prayer. My family prayed for me, and that sort of got me through. And as soon as I was able, in the first part of this year, in the spring, I started doing exercise classes and all that to get my strength back. And now I'm active at the Senior Action Center, and I do exercise down there, and I try to keep busy and keep my mind occupied. And I'm going to school at Furman, taking French classes, so it's just to keep me going. You know, I don't ever think negative anymore. I have a very positive attitude now. Just once you have the results, and if you know that it's not life-threatening, try to live your normal life as much as possible. If it's life-threatening, I don't know what advice to give them because mine was caught in time. They just have to be positive and try to spend a lot of time with their family and their grandchildren and stay as active as they possibly can and just be positive. So I would like to go around the country telling women this. No matter if you have your mammograms, even if you have your mammograms and your ultrasound, do at least, I did a weekly self-exam. I was working out of town. As a matter of fact, I was in Washington, D.C., and I felt it in my left breast, and I knew immediately because I know my body. And I knew that was not normal. So I called down to the breast center here at St. Francis, and the day that I got home, I went in. And not only to women to do this, but men, it can save your life. It's a matter of life or death if they get it close. I never had to have chemotherapy or anything like that because I caught it in time. And that's main thing I want people to get out of this interview. I can't imagine anyone not doing them, because if they know how important it is, it's whether they're going to live or die. The sooner they get to it, just try to get back to normal if you can, if you're able to, and as soon as possible. And that's what I have done. And I don't think about my cancer anymore. I think positive, and I don't think I'll ever have it again, because I have learned so much through this experience. And I just hope that people will do their self-exams, but sometimes they don't.